Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing something a little special, actually. Um, while I do some racing, which I'm getting set up right now, um, we're gonna put on some spooky wooky stories. So pretty much, we're just gonna have a nice, I'm gonna say, hour long race. Just a quick, you know, run around. That Dr. Pepper's good. Um, and listen to some spooky stories. Um, I really personally enjoy whatchamacallit. I really enjoy um listening to spooky stories and stuff. It's something that I do at work that is just it's my way of relaxing and winding down. And I thought that I would you know, let y'all experience that with me. I would like to say that these are not my personal works and that they are the works of a very talented individual, which is the Tape Library Archive of the Paranormal and the Unexplained. Um, he makes really good content and he does a lot of good research on it, and he works really well with his community. So I'd like to give him a shout out on Spotify. And if you enjoy listening to this stuff, I beg of you, please go and check him out on both YouTube and Spotify because he is genuinely. I am playing ACC without you. He's genuinely such a great creator, and he has had such a great journey. Um, but yeah, so all of the spooky stories that you guys will be hearing today are coming from him. Um, and yeah, he's got a real nice whatchamacallit, canter or whatever. But yeah, so we're gonna hop over to this. I gotta set up the game capture because I forgot to do that earlier, which is my bad. And then I'll get and we'll see if y'all can hear. If it ever freaking loads the game capture. There we go. All right. I'm gonna need your help in the audience, Daniel, to tell me if this plays through. Uh, that's not what I want. My bad. Uh,
activity. He agreed that
no.
electricity in the air, and that Doris opened her eyes,
Okay, can you hear that?
glancing around her bedroom. It was late. She couldn't see the clock from where she was
It
laying.
looks like you guys can hear that.
The silence around her house and from the street outside pointed to it being
So
the hours of
I'll turn down the game volume a little bit,
fast asleep,
just so that y'all can
up in their beds,
hear this a little bit better. Let me
Doris
actually see if I can.
something was wrong. There was the slight feeling of electricity in the air, and that all
Nah, that's
too
fine.
familiar feeling of being watched. Doris began to shudder. This wasn't the first time she had been woken up in the middle of the night by seemingly nothing at all, only then to immediately feel like she wasn't alone. In fact, it was a feeling that Doris was becoming all too used to. She glanced around her room one more time. There was nothing.
Alright, Daniel, you have a good one.
Just silence and darkness, but she could feel it.
The Tape Library, I would like to thank today's sponsor. Fantastic Well, there we go. They are a fantastic, all-natural energy company that strives to make jitterless energy using natural ingredients. Recently, they sent me a flavor called Dragonade, which is like a dragon fruit raspberry lemonade that I have absolutely loved, and my roommate loves it as well, to the point where we might need to get a second tub pretty soon because we're just going through it like paper. Um, Absolutely delicious. It gives you the long-lasting energy that you need without the jitterness. They're aiming to compete with brands like G Fuel and Gamer Sups and stuff for that powdered energy drink type drink. And I'd love it if you guys would go and use code GoldRush_129/327 for 10% off everything in the store. We get a little bit back, and it would really help the channel if you guys could both like, subscribe, and I heard hyping the video on YouTube also does a lot. So if you guys could do that, I'd be super duper grateful. Anyway, with that over with, I will start up the ghost stories and start the race.
Somewhere deep inside her,
Oh,
she
pause.
wasn't alone.
Hold up.
No matter what her eyes may be telling her.
Get some of that Dr.
Doris
Pepper
decided to
in
get out of the room
before
as
I
quickly as
set
she
out.
could. Before she even had a chance to sit up, one of them pounced.
Ooh, baby. I just
Hard
realized
to describe what the sensation
I'm in a
felt.
GT3 car and everyone else is in
Mouth like
GT4, so
someone
I
was
gotta
holding her arms,
swap that
tightly
back.
pulling them together at the wrist. She tried to fling her lower body out of the bed, but before she could, someone else appeared to grab her by the
Let
once again pulling her legs.
me go with the
closer
Audi
together.
Sport.
Doris tried to scream out, but she couldn't. In the darkness, she could almost make out the shape of a figure standing
Heyo.
above her head. Short in stature and bent over slightly as it held onto her. It was difficult to put into words, but while she could just about make out the shape of a person, it was like they weren't actually there. Or at least, not fully. As though it were just the outline of a human being. Again, glancing down at her feet,
I didn't want to
she
do
could
that.
make out a similar shape in the darkness. Her eyes
All
raced
right.
around the room in both
Let's get
corners,
started.
and in an attempt to try and figure a way out of what she
So as you can
was
see,
doing,
doing this for a whole hour.
a third presence approaching.
Just we're gonna go for mostly safety rating here because I'm not trying to win any races against
She felt
AI.
his weight pressed down
There's no
on her
real
as this fragment of
motivation for that.
climbed onto her bed. Doris was helpless. She couldn't move, as she was surrounded. She tried her hardest to let her mind go blank, praying it would be over soon.
Here, I'm gonna.
This wasn't the first time Doris had experienced this, and it wouldn't be the last. Welcome to the tape library. This is the case that I have referred to over the last few episodes, as the one I think you have all requested more than any other. Before we get into it, I have a small request myself. I'm in the process of putting together a rough plan of what the channel will be covering over the next year. The next few months are pretty set in stone, but are there any cases you think I should look into? I asked this before a couple of months ago and got some incredible ideas, so please do drop a comment below if you would like.
And I am a little bit rusty.
Also, a few people have been complaining
So-
that they're subscribed, but still not seeing videos when they get posted. Just hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, and you should get a notification every time I upload. Despite being such a well-known incident in the paranormal world, this story has somehow passed me by.
Oh, went a little bit wide there.
Interesting to delve into the research for this. As the warning at the start suggests,
Here, I'm gonna drop my graphics a little bit
while I
because I'm currently running, as you can see in the corner, I'm running at like 30 frames.
that there will be discussions about some fairly heavy subjects. One tricky thing about this one is that it obviously inspired the book and movie, The Entity. While these are based on the case of Doris Byfer, they are fictional retellings of what happened to her and her family. So attempting to separate the fiction from what Doris and the investigators claimed really happened is a slight challenge. Also, the events before the investigators get involved
Whoa.
are vague, but I've tried my best to put together a fairly comprehensive view.
Just let the CPU catch up a little bit.
I've relied on interviews with lead investigators.
Oh gosh.
The majority of the details.
You know, that's what I get for trying to mess with things during a race.
Grab yourself a warm drink, dim the lights, and get comfortable. It's time to tackle the true story of the entity. This is the haunting of Doris Byford. It was a warm Californian afternoon in August of 1974. A young man named Kerry Gaynor was standing.
There's a little bit of input lag.
While they were perusing books, Kerry's friend was asking him questions about the new volunteer position he had taken. Kerry was a volunteer at a lab in UCLA. What was unusual about this particular lab was that it was dedicated to the study of parapsychology, based in the neuropsychiatric.
Parapsychology.
The lab was headed up by Dr. Thelma Moss, and for over a decade the lab was dedicated to taking a scientific approach to phenomena that most institutes wouldn't touch. Kerry was coming to the building daily and helping with investigations into psychokinesis, ESP, alternative medicines, poltergeists, and hauntings. Understandably, Kerry's friends had many.
Imagine that being your job,
Gaynor was explaining
is you go and you like listen to ghost stories all day and like try to decode
unbeknown to him,
what is an actual thing and like
on the other side
not a thing, and it's really just like, oh, someone's hallucinating or like something like that.
Explaining how he really wanted to find a case that could provide
Oh, I think that might be cool.
evidence of a haunting.
I'd never do it.
When one of the women interrupted him, she said,
I mean, some of you may know that I have a background in psychology, but
proceeded to tell Kerry
something like that's not something I think I would be interested in.
that the activity had become violent in some way. Kerry, a little taken aback by her forwardness with the story, took the woman's contact details and promised to be in touch soon, informing her that there would be no charge for coming to investigate as long as they could use it as part of their research. Kerry quickly returned to the parapsychology lab and grabbed the research assistant he worked directly with, Dr. Barry Taff. Taff had been working at the university's parapsychology lab for a number of years. Taff claims to have investigated over 4,000 different examples of reported hauntings. Out of those that Taff claimed to be legitimate, he would state that only 5% of them.
Whoa! Yeah, now go forward.
The other 95%
That was
were instead
not a good time to lunge. I'll say that for sure.
It's worth getting this different title the way
I am rusty.
because it frames Dr. Taft's views on what would follow. In Taft's eyes, a haunting would go on for anywhere from a few months to hundreds of years, and would usually take place in a location
Whoa!
where a traumatic or violent death had taken place.
Okay. Whatever is gonna happen here, don't blame me for it. That was lag.
To be something
Holy crap!
The source of this activity often centers around a young person, either approaching or experiencing puberty. The activity
I think it's because I'm running
objects being
the
thrown,
Spotify as well.
seemingly unseen force, banging and scratching the walls, spontaneous fires, footsteps, doors opening and closing. This activity appeared to center around a single person usually, and would often follow them wherever they go. Poltergeist activity, in his view, was not the work of a spirit, but some kind of psychokinesis that a
Really?
person has created, often on some kind of subconscious level.
I feel like
listened to what Gaynor had learned
that's kind of wrong. I feel like poltergeist activity is normally associated with spirits.
He agreed they should go.
I mean, I guess that's his whole point.
The two men headed to the address on Braddock Street in Culver City. A little shocked by what they saw. Taff would later describe the house as basically a shack.
Is that contact?
The house
That wasn't contact!
condemned by the city.
Oh, I pooped myself a little bit. Maybe that's
There was
why
no one living inside.
the weight shifted.
Seemingly, this woman was living there illegally. The pair knocked on the door.
I know that it's not the fastest to downshift through that corner,
Opened the door and quickly welcomed
but
them.
I do.
A single mother of 3 boys and 1 girl was at her wit's end and couldn't believe her luck that she had accidentally stumbled upon someone who could help her. Doors had been banging open and closed, strange noises heard, and even the occasional apparition.
Well played that right there.
figure had been
That was
seen
very well played.
by the entire family in the home. But that wasn't the reason Doris was so desperate for help. She told Taff and Gaynor that she had been sexually assaulted
Whoa.
on multiple occasions by a person that she couldn't see. She informed the investigators that there were 3 entities that appeared to be haunting her family.
That is
2 she described
pretty
as small, 1 was large,
freaky ghosts.
but all 3 were physically strong and were capable of not just physically touching them, but of violent attacks, and that the 2 smaller entities appeared
I mean,
to be
how-
bidding
That would
of
be.
the larger one, restraining Doris so that the larger
Oh.
entity could do what it wanted with her.
Ooh.
Taft turned to Gaynor and asked to speak to
I
him.
promise that his stuff normally
He had
isn't like
heard
this.
claims
I
of
just
sexually
picked
related touching from apparent
a-
paranormal phenomena. He had never heard
a
anything
thing of
as
his,
disturbing
and I heard that this was like one of his biggest videos.
as what Doris was laying out to the investigators. While he didn't
So I promise
it up,
that this is not normally
strain recounting the events was having on her.
how his stuff
Also
goes.
didn't think this was something.
So please don't hold this against him or me.
Taft informed
And again,
Gaynor that he
there's really no
was
affiliation between the two of us.
in need of serious
It's
psychological
just-
help.
I thought you guys might like this. I think you guys might be
He
interested.
sat with Doris for a little over an hour. Before explaining
But,
to her he would not be able to help.
Whoa!
Taft gave Doris the contact details to a psychologist who works in their building and said he would refer her to him
Oh my
to
gosh.
try to understand what it was she was experiencing. Taft and Gaynor left. They didn't speak much on the drive home. Both were deeply saddened, not just by the conditions the Byford family were living in, but by the apparent mental health issues the mother was experiencing. However, 10 days later, the pair received another call at the lab from Doris. She informed them that she was no longer...
I forgot. I don't know if I finished that statement or not. If I had to lock in, but oh gosh.
Experiencing, although not the assault.
I locked my brakes
This
up.
piqued the pair's interest, and the following day they returned to the home. As they entered, before Doris could say anything, they were hit with a fact that Taft
yeah.
described as the
Huge props to the tape library. Like I said, he does a lot of really good research and stuff. There's no affiliation. He's got no idea that this is happening, but
Being a hot August
again, if you really like this content, I would say go to his page and look at his stuff. Again, it's the tape library, archive of paranormal events.
The second they stepped in, the bedroom
Again,
was cold.
he's got some good stuff. I really like his stuff, so.
As Doris continued to inform the investigators about the strange events that had been taking place, not just in her home, but in that of her next door neighbours, when all of a sudden, in front of the men's eyes, they saw one of the low doors on the kitchen cabinets seemingly open by itself. More shockingly, this was quickly followed by a frying pan flying out of the cupboard, rising up in the air before coming crashing down to the floor in an arc shape. The pair stood in a stunned silence.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told you guys either.
Suspicious.
Whatchamacallit, I got a Fanatec wheel, and it should be here within the next couple of days, or at least within the month. So
No one else was in the room.
I'm super excited for that. A very due upgrade to the setup that we have. The pedals are already in. I'm not using them because I figure if I'm going to use the Thrustmaster wheel, I might as well just use the pedals as well.
That were dotted throughout the house, were all seen zipping through the air.
I'm going to try to stay close to this person instead of passing them,
Objects appeared to be thrown.
just because I am trying to build that safety rating.
Decided that there might be something to Doris' story after all, and this began a 10-week investigation into the haunting of Doris Byford.
And I figure this is the best way to do it.
The entire
It's
life of the
just
family
tail.
flipped on its head almost instantly. The dark, run-down home was now filled daily, with up to 25 people at a time, mostly parapsychology researchers and students from the university, as well as a handful of...
Would you guys do that?
types.
Would you let people research your house if you had like a ghost
Sexually
thing?
related attacks immediately stopped.
I feel like that's a
Investigation began. Although her eldest son,
pretty uncomfortable thing.
witnessing his
A
mother
lot of loss of privacy.
when he rushed to help her, he was physically thrown across the room.
Oh, not a good time to lag.
Crashing to the floor. This was apparently one of the only physical altercations that took place, however.
Guys, there's ghosts in my
And after
computer.
weeks of being assaulted in her bed, this apparent weakening in the abilities of the entity was very welcomed by Doris. The people inside the home reported the familiar experiences we often see with poltergeist cases. Doors opening and closing on their own, strange sounds being heard around the house,
Oh,
and sudden temperature changes throughout the property. The most common occurrence that the investigators reported witnessing was the presence of strange, unexplained lights.
brakes did not
They began
not
to
hold
see
up.
yellowy green balls of light that would dart around the rooms quickly and in all different directions. Taft described them as plasma-like in substance, and around the sides.
Again, we got a whole lot of time left in the race, so
So their first thought was they
getting damaged is not
maybe
high on my list of things that I want to do.
Poster boards to the walls of the property, held up with duct tape, which sealed off all external light sources. However, not only did this not stop the lights, it actually made them more visible as they were illuminated in the now darkened home. The lights also appeared to be reacting to the investigators in the home in some way. At one point, Gaynor claims that he spoke to a light that was darting around next to a wall. Suspicious that maybe someone was projecting it somehow, he instructed the light to move away from the wall. To his surprise, it did, moving into the centre of the room and spinning on the spot.
You guys can probably hear me letting up a little bit off of the throttle coming into most of the corners, just because I don't want to get too close and end up whacking them, but I do want to, or like pass them, but I do want to stay within that like golden zone.
And mostly dismissed them as not being compelling evidence. The lights and other strange phenomena
To build the
profound effect on
safety rating.
who had never witnessed anything to this level before. Gaynor says that at one point they heard a loud thud in the opposite room. They rushed in to find not one.
Because I mean, it is a proven fact that this GT4 car is just like leagues faster. Like, look at that.
To capture this phenomenon on camera. Professional photographer Dick Thompson was in the location on numerous occasions, trying to get a good photo of the balls. He claimed it was extremely difficult to do so.
Like this car is very quick. Me and Daniel have raced these two cars against each other, and the Camaro definitely outshone the AMG in many ways. But again, just you see, you say that, but just something tells me that's just not right.
He suspects the low
All right, well, I'm gonna go quiet a little bit, and we can listen to the ghost stories.
A second photo.
And yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
A number of these photos were sent to the magazine Popular Photography. The negatives of the photographs were authenticated by the editor of the magazine, who was flabbergasted by the images. He claimed he had never seen anything like it, and couldn't explain what he was seeing in the photographs. They would be the only images of apparent paranormal phenomena the prestigious magazine would ever publish. It would be a few weeks into the case when the investigators would witness what many of them described as the most terrifying moment of the entire investigation. One evening, Doris was sitting on her bed. Yet again, the now familiar light orbs were zipping around the room, seemingly orbiting Doris. There were 4 of them on this occasion, and at one point, to the confusion of the witnesses, all 4 lights suddenly retreated to the corner of the room, right by Doris's bed. The lights appeared to be growing closer, until they started to merge into one another, before seemingly starting to take on a shape of some kind. Taff and a large number of the other researchers claimed they saw what appeared to be the apparition of the upper torso of a large man. forming in the air above the bed, right on top of where Doris sat, who stared up at it, her mouth agape at what she was witnessing. The investigators had finally been given a glimpse of whatever it was Doris had claimed had been attacking her all those weeks before. After this event, the investigators were all asked to submit individual reports of what they had seen, and apparently all wrote the events in an almost identical manner. Yet despite cameras going off constantly during the event, nothing was captured on film. The lack of decent photographic evidence was becoming an increasingly frustrating part of the investigation, and film cameras were brought in to try and capture moving images of the phenomenon. This proved fruitless as well. Despite what they could see with their eyes, the team were having a hard time capturing it definitively on camera. It was at times almost like something was blocking the camera's ability to take images. As Gaynor describes in one strange incident, one evening Doris started to scream that the apparition was in her bedroom. The team raced in there. Doris pointed to the corner of her room once again and said it's there. They couldn't see a thing. Gaynor had a Polaroid camera. He pointed the camera at the wall and took a photo. The picture came out, completely bleached out. Assuming it was simply overexposed, Gaynor asked if it was still in the corner. She said yes, so he took another Polaroid. Again, nothing was visible at all in the image. After a few seconds, Doris claimed that the apparition was gone. Gaynor took 2 photos again of the corner in quick succession. Both came out perfectly fine. Moments later, a sudden cold breeze shot through the house and through the doorway into the bedroom, followed by a smell that was so strong it caused some team members to vomit. Gaynor took another Polaroid in the direction the breeze had come from. Yet again, the image was almost completely bleached out,
Whoa!
except for what appeared to be the bottom of the door. In front of it, there was what appeared
You see,
to be
that's what we're not gonna do there.
Again, several moments
And I went off.
before Doris screamed again. She claimed the apparition was now right in front of her face. This
You see,
now familiar outline
that's what I'm not gonna let slide.
mere inches from her eyes. Again, Gaynor took 2 photos.
Brother! Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah,
exposed
no.
with a bleached
That's...
out look that appeared to be
That's
something
my bad.
Doris's
Well,
face.
technically that's lag, but...
Once the entity retreated,
I was trying to let that guy go past, but...
Gaynor attempted to take a photo again, and the image came out fine. The odd scratch that appears in front of Doris's face, apparently being an artifact from the team attempting to clean the photo up later. Back at the parapsychology lab, Dr. Moss was a little skeptical about the entire thing, and was concerned that so many of her researchers had been dedicated to this one case for so long. However, she trusted Taff, and would allow the research to continue for the time being. She didn't see any reason why Taff or any of her students would lie about what they were experiencing, but she felt there must be some kind of explanation. Taff told her that he didn't understand what was happening in the house. All he knew was that they were repeatedly seeing things that they could not explain. A couple of days later, late in the evening, Doris called Taff in floods of tears. He grabbed Gaynor and the pair headed to the Bifer homes around midnight to find the place a wreck. All of the large poster boards and duct tape had been ripped off the walls so violently that they covered the floor with paint and plaster that had been pulled away with it. Taff thought that while it was possible Doris had pulled them down, he described her as a small, frail woman and was surprised she had the strength to do this. She appeared genuinely traumatized when they arrived and was screaming that she saw them being torn off the walls. But there was still a part of Taff that suspected she may have done this for more attention, something he had witnessed while investigating other paranormal cases. But they couldn't prove it one way or the other. The investigation continued after this, although the activity seemed to start to lessen with each passing week. They continued to gather data, bringing in Geiger counters at one point. The team claimed they would pick up normal background radiation throughout the house. However, when any activity was taking place, the counters would read absolutely nothing at all, as though all the background radiation was temporarily sucked into some kind of void. They attempted to track down the source of the strong odors.
I mean, I guess UV radiation is background radiation. I guess that answered my own
Despite
question.
checking under the house, the plumbing, anywhere that a potential animal could have gotten in and died, they were never able to find a source. They experienced a similarly frustrating experience while attempting to collect data on the temperature drops. Any time they attempted to use thermal equipment on one of these cold spots, the temperature would read as totally normal. Late into the investigation, Dr. Moss actually attended the home one evening. She did not witness a single incident during her time there. Although the team had already stated that things appeared to be starting to quieten down, she was strongly beginning to suspect that she should put an end to this entire event, and couldn't help but notice that Doris, while seemingly experiencing something, was also
My eyes are so dry.
individual. Her apparent issues with drinking had become apparent to Taff almost from the moment they met her. But over the weeks, Taff had actually noticed something interesting in that regard when connected to the phenomena. Whenever Doris was drinking heavily, the activity in the house increased. When she was sober, especially for an extended period of time,
The ghost is drinking through her.
drastically. This fueled Taff's theory that this was not the work of any sort of ghost or otherworldly being, but a phenomena being created by this woman, that we simply don't have a way to explain it. However, Dr. Moss didn't need to pull the plug on the investigation. Over the last few months, Doris had been storing away as much money as she could to get her family out of there. She still firmly believed her house was haunted, and without telling the investigation team,
Boo, get out of here. I don't want none of those AI viewers.
essentially putting an end to the case at that time. During the investigation, a writer by the name of Frank De Felito had begun talking to Doris regularly about what was going on in her home, and had struck up quite a close relationship with her. While he had no formal plans to write about Doris's case at that time, he was certainly keeping an eye on events, with that possible intention in mind. While Doris hadn't kept in touch with Dr. Taff, she had kept in contact with Frank, and with her permission he revealed to the investigators where she had moved to. Why had she done that, after seemingly moving away and trying to start anew? Well, it appeared that moving had not helped the Bifer family one bit. Within
That would be
weeks,
so
Doris
upsetting.
moved into her new house. The
Is
family
having to
started
spend the time and mental strain moving
Interestingly,
just for your
again,
problems
both
to not
houses
end.
on either side of Doris's new home reported the same type of phenomena.
Oh, she's spreading it. That's insane.
Previously. They were just confused and didn't make the connection to their new neighbour, who had kept her story quiet. Concerned that her new community would think she was crazy, she was almost attempting to bury her head in the sand and hope it wouldn't escalate to the same levels again. But both Doris and her neighbours reported cupboards and doors opening and closing by themselves, garbage being poured out onto the floor, electrical devices turning off and on at random. The investigators visited her new home, and what followed would be what I think.
I have no idea why I have the line on. I genuinely haven't even been looking at it.
Taff had a recorder with a microphone next to him, placed right by his leg. Suddenly a vase flew off the sideboard and crashed into the floor right in the middle of the investigators, much like the frying pan all those weeks before. Nothing else seemed to happen. However, when they played the audio tape back, they had apparently captured something else happening at the time.
I do like elliptical lines over geometric, though.
Getting closer and closer to the microphone, along with a footstep, then another footstep, and then a dragging sound. This repeated as the sound got closer and closer to the mic, and then the audio recorder just shut itself off.
I don't see a collision thing,
No
so
one in the room was
hopefully
making sounds like this.
that wasn't actually a collision and I overbrate.
The microphone.
Because it didn't seem like I affected the other car too much. Or maybe I just missed it.
Investigators were sat with her in The lights turned down low. They had
I
once
think
again
my trust went up.
some duct tape.
I don't think my
Suddenly they got to see what
BWP
had
went up.
happened. That night Doris called them in floods of tears.
So
They witnessed the tape being
I don't
ripped
know.
from the wall, as though it was being ripped off by an unseen hand. Very quickly. The boards flew off and hit Doris in the head. Gaynor, in a move that I imagine did not impress Doris, asked whatever it was to do it again. And he obliged,
Hit her
throwing
again.
another board in the direction of Doris. This was enough for Doris, who still seemed convinced she could somehow outrun whatever was doing this to her.
You keep running from your
She packed up her
demons
family
until you
again
are
and
exhausted, but
moved to San
then you will have to
Bernardino.
stop and find out what they wanted, or you can run from your demons until you are
They claimed she
exhausted.
was still experiencing the same phenomena. Before the investigators could catch her,
Ah,
she once again moved,
not good, my friend.
this time to Texas, and cut off all contact with everyone. Taff apparently had no idea that Frank was writing a book about their case, until he contacted him and asked the doctor to
Ugh.
write the final chapters.
I dislocated my arm a couple days ago, and it is acting up now.
Taff would have liked the investigation to have actually continued.
Definitely doesn't
The
feel
next
great.
step would have been to bring her into the lab and run further tests. To his knowledge, Doris did not seek the same level of psychiatric help as depicted in the book and movie, despite suggesting she should in that first meeting. But he claims it does really get across the level of stress and fear he witnessed in Doris every time he interacted with her. Gaynor and Taff were brought on as technical
Pop my arm real
advisors
quick.
in the movie adaptation of The Entity, which led to Taff being invited to a screening of the movie at Fox Studios in 1983. There, much to his surprise, he saw Doris. The pair had a short moment.
Oh no!
While she stated she liked the film, Taff got the sense she was uneasy with the attention she was receiving, but grateful they were trying to help her tell her story and help her to understand.
Don't worry, we'll get it back.
She did not apparently divulge any information about what had happened to
We'll get it back
her
real
in
quick.
Texas.
Ready to watch this?
And that
Meow.
was the last time he ever saw her. In the years following the case,
Oh, we're going fishing, boys. Reel 'em in.
claiming to have been part of the investigation team and spreading misinformation about the whole thing. Taff has called out a number of these people as simply attempting to get attention. Meanwhile, he has continued to talk about the Byford case and several others that he has been involved with over the years. Skeptical Inquirer magazine have done a few articles on the case, concluding that while there is no evidence of the Byford case being an outright hoax, there does appear to be a mix of psychological disturbance, the power of suggestion, and poor investigation skills of a group of student researchers who, while well-meaning,
Freaking beautifully
seemed
done.
convinced they had uncovered something paranormal, didn't have the abilities to create compelling evidence. Taff himself states on numerous occasions that they were not very well versed on how to use the camera equipment, often resulting in
Ah, dang it.
However, he also says that professional photographers were also brought in, but they too failed to capture any of the phenomena on camera. Dr. Taff instantly dismissed the claims of the
Oh, we got some racing here.
because they did not take place during their investigation. While he can't be absolutely certain what was the cause of the incidents, he does seem to very much lean towards the idea that Doris was creating all of these events on some kind of psychic level.
A nice defensive line into there, and just power through. And even short shifting, you can see just how much more powerful the Camaro is than the other competition that we have here.
It did quickly become apparent from the pieces of information they were able to get that there was a certain degree of trauma in the life of Doris Byford. She had been disowned by her family as a teenager.
Oh, that's
When
rough.
they met her, she was raising a family in a condemned building. It was apparent she also had a drinking problem, and there was evidence to suggest she may have also been a drug user, or at
Oof.
least was in her past. I'm a little confused as to how many of the children
See,
were actually living with Doris at the time.
with that
With some
is where all of the
fact
ghost
that
stuff
she was
falls
living in the
apart.
house with her 3 sons.
Even with
That her
outside
children had potentially been taken away.
witnesses, I
But I'm not
struggle to
100%
believe
sure on this detail.
the word
In
of
later years, the middle son,
someone who
Brian,
can't think clearly
gave an interview to the
under the
writer
influence.
Javier Ortega. He claimed that she was thrown out by her family for living a rambunctious lifestyle and being rebellious. At a young age, she liked to play with Ouija boards and conduct seances.
Oh no!
The drugs
Oh, stay on, stay on!
Although the interview Brian gave saw him contradict himself numerous times. The man who conducted the interview with Brian Harris doesn't believe he was intentionally trying to mislead him with the interview he gave, instead claiming he was quite emotional about the whole thing, especially when it came to facts about his mother being spread that he claimed were not true. His interview was jumbled and messy, but he appeared to just want to set the record straight about the type of person his mother was. While she did enjoy a drink, Brian claimed that she was not the drunk the investigators had implied she was. There were suggestions that the entities were somehow being manifested through her mind, and that they took on the form of 3 men because she had 3 boys in the house. But Brian disputes this, claiming that these entities were very real, and that he saw them himself. This interview was apparently conducted as part of a book being written on the
That is
full
sad,
life
though.
story of Doris Byford. As far as I can tell, it was never completed. Her other 2 sons have also spoken.
Because I know that for sure, if I was experiencing something like that, I'd want people to believe me.
Brian had a similar relationship to drink and drugs as his mother had. However, the other 2 sons did back up some of Brian's claims. They claimed that there had been some level of paranormal activity before moving to the condemned house on Braddock Street, including objects moving and the occasional appearance of some kind of apparition. While living in Braddock Street, both boys claimed to witness the same phenomena their mother reported, with one boy apparently being awoken terrified in the middle of the night by being slapped across the face. But when he opened his eyes, there was no one there. Another reported walking down their hallway one evening before hitting something and falling to the ground.
Yeah, but when the race is over, I think I'm gonna go and make myself some mac and cheese with bacon.
We'll end this story with
I got some Velveeta shells and cheese and some microwave bacon. So
I'm not sure how to
I know it's such a glamorous
due to the fact that
dish to have,
some
but
level of activity
you know,
taking place
I'm hungry.
before we even moved there.
It sounds good, and I went shopping today and bought the stuff for it. So
One afternoon, shortly after moving in,
why not?
there was a knock at the door. Doris answered it to see an elderly Mexican woman standing before her. She apparently stared blankly at Doris for a few seconds before saying, "You need to get out. I used to live here in this old house, back when it was just a farm, when I was a little girl. There's something very evil here. This place is haunted, and you need to get out." When Doris asked what she was talking about,
What kind of luck is that,
the woman
dude?
went deadly silent and walked away. Doris nor the boys ever saw the woman again. Doris Byford would die in 1999
Oh, keep it on. I cannot keep that on.
of respiratory failure. If these incidents followed her into later life, we will apparently never know.
That is really rough.
As always, I would love to hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna
on
let him
this.
say his thing.
I really want to encourage the comment section to become a place where people can discuss theories or additional information that I may have missed here. So please do respond to other comments if you can, and let's get a bit of a conversation going. I hope that this community can become a friendly, welcoming place for us all to discuss the unexplained. We've got some great episodes coming up next month, so if you haven't already, please do subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you want to support the channel, you can do that really simply by clicking the like button on the video. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
And again, before this next one starts, huge props to this guy. I really enjoy all of his stuff. So, you know, if you want to go and leave a couple nice words for him, I think that'd be great. Just, you know I don't have a huge community, if a community at all. But, you know, if anyone watching this enjoyed that, you know, letting him know that, I think, is the right thing to do. Next straight, I'm gonna see if I can't start another one for y'all. And we go down one more. And we're back on his bumper. I'm actually going to go ahead and pass him, so I can start chasing first. I know I said on the next straight, but... Oh, beautifully done. Freaking beautifully done. And I'm lagging. Of course I'm lagging. Why wouldn't I be lagging? You know, it's because I said that I was going to set up a thing for you guys, and I didn't. That's my fault. Okay. Let me, yeah, like I said, he's got a whole bunch of stuff. I've watched a lot of his stuff, so I gotta scroll to something I haven't done yet. All right, and we got the next one queued up. 25 minutes left in it. Oh, that's perfect. All right, peak.
It was November 15th, 1966, in Salem, West Virginia.
Oh, that's close to here.
Tuesday night. Not a cloud was in the sky as the Partridge family settled in for a night on the farm. Merle, his wife and their 6 children warmed themselves by the fire and were looking forward to a night in front of the television. Their 3-year-old German Shepherd dog Bandit laid on the porch, guarding his loving family. Everything was normal until around 10:30 p.m. when the television started to act a little strangely. The movie Wild and Wonderful was playing on screen, when the signal appeared to start breaking up. Just a few interruptions at first, before the entire screen was filled with a kind of herringbone pattern and started to emit a horrible, high-pitched noise that hurt the family's ears. Bandit stayed outside, but began to howl intensely, presumably due to the high pitch of the noise. It grew to such a degree that out of nowhere, the television exploded.
Oh, wow.
Shattering the family with broken glass as it did, but despite the noise stopping, Bandit continued to howl. Merle, obviously shocked and confused by what had just happened, got an uneasy feeling, and decided to head outside with his flashlight to see what was bothering the dog so much. As he stepped out onto the porch, however, Bandit bolted for the nearby tree line. Merle shouted for his normally obedient dog to come back, but it ignored him. He began to venture closer to the trees. That's when he saw it.
This is the freaking car of lag and despair, dude.
Lights in the tree line,
Oh, freaking heck.
large and circular in shape. Initially it was reported that they appeared to be eyes, but Merle later revealed that he didn't feel like there was anything biological about them. Whatever it was in those trees, it scared Merle enough to run back inside the farmhouse and grab his gun, but when he returned, there was nothing. No trace of the lights, no trace of Bandit. In the morning, he would find Bandit's paw prints.
Power through, take the inside, take the inside! Oh! Fantastic work.
Demonstrating any evidence that he ran off in a different direction. That same night, just a couple of hours later, two young couples were driving over 100 miles away, just outside of Point Pleasant, when they claimed to see a strange figure standing in the middle of the road. It was large, around 7 feet tall, but what was most disturbing to them was its large, glowing red eyes. They began to drive away as quickly as they could, when they saw in their mirror the figure had hovered up in the air and appeared to be gliding.
He's 16 seconds ahead. I think I can make that.
Incredible speed. It had wings.
I say as I freaking botch the crap out of that corner.
They claimed that during the chase they saw on the side of the road the remains of what appeared to be a large dog. This was the first officially reported sighting of one of the most infamous cryptids, the Point Pleasant Mothman.
Mothman!
Held together a whole host of strange paranormal
Mothman.
and one I hope
Nah, he just killed a dog. That's messed up. Why did you do that?
Similar tales of winged men. Interestingly, an event took place 3 years previous to the Mothman sightings that bears a striking resemblance to the beloved winged beast. A rarely spoken about tale.
No! Oh! Boo.
Was possibly spotted on the other side of the Atlantic. Welcome to the Tape Library.
Low-key, that
After how much you
like got me very sudden.
I thought I'd bring you another tale of high strangeness from our little island. Much like Sam, there is so little information to go on here.
There's gunshots
What
outside.
there is has been pieced together from a handful of newspaper clippings and the legendary John Keel's book, Strange Creatures from Time and Space. Because of that, this might be a little bit of a shorter one. I don't want to pad out these episodes just for the sake of it, and I think it's too good a story to not cover. This is a story again, much like Sam, that seems to encompass several areas.
Out of the corners is where I really put the gap in on them.
The area of ghosts and UFOs, on top of the whole cryptid weirdness. I really like this one, and I hope you will too. I'm hoping to be launching something new later this month, or next, that you weirdos out there who enjoy falling asleep to creepy tales are going to love. But I'm not quite ready to announce that yet. But speaking of sleep, I'm thrilled to welcome back our sponsors, Manta Sleep. I spoke about these guys a few episodes ago, and
I'm gonna talk over his sponsor stuff because they're not sponsoring me, so I'm not gonna.
Huge fan of sleep mask. As someone who has experienced
that's not good.
Insomnia in the past, I'm always game for trying something new. These are the
Like
only
that.
sleep masks that I've tried.
Brother!
That genuinely made a difference to my quality.
Brother! Oh, that pit. Oh, that pisses me off.
Using their promo
Dude!
go to when I'm struggling to nod off. If you want to check them out, the link will be in the description.
Oh, that pisses me off. Oh my gosh.
It also helps support the channel. So thanks once again to Manta Sleep.
Oh no.
Let's get into tonight's story. So get yourself a warm drink.
I can't even freaking drive this. There's no steering.
This.
Oh, that's really upsetting actually.
Mothman.
Oh, we were having such a good race too. 3 minutes.
November
16th, that's the race right there.
Almost exactly 3
That's
years
frustrating.
before the sighting that would kickstart the Mothman phenomenon in West Virginia.
I'm actually very pissed off by that.
Event took place, chillingly taking place at the same time of year, with the same number of young people involved, as though history would later repeat itself. 17-year-old John Flaxton, his friend Mervyn Hutchinson, and their 2 girlfriends, who I don't believe have ever been named, were walking back from a dance late on that fateful night. They were alone as they strolled down a quiet country road that runs along Sandlin Park in Hythe, a small town on the south coast of England. John was the first to notice and pointed out to his friends. The lack of light pollution meant the stars in the night sky were extremely visible, casting a beautiful overhead view for the teens. But John's attention was drawn to what he first
And
was
then
a
5.
It was brighter than the lights
It's actually really upsetting, guys.
pointed out.
There's an entire
It wasn't
lap
brighter.
that I'm missing.
It was that it was closer than all the other stars. Very close. They watched as the light moved across the sky above them. Their intrigue quickly grew to concern as they realized the light in the sky was getting closer and closer to them before it suddenly seemed to come to a stop, hovering just in front of them, a little further down the road. A bright golden oval shape. Its light so bright it was impossible to see if there was a source behind it. Then after what felt like several minutes, but was likely only a few seconds, the light dropped down behind some trees in the park. John described a strange...
I hate it when that happens, because it's literally not my fault and nothing I can do. And it's just my freaking Wi-Fi and my crappy computer.
Although what they were afraid of,
it's really frustrating.
tell you exactly.
But
just
what are you going to do about it?
That whatever they had just seen was something that shouldn't be. All four decided they wanted to get away from the situation as quickly as possible and began to run. As soon as they did, the light quickly bobbed back out.
It does look like we did get a another point on our safety, which is good.
The light was now
we are 21 away from being able to qualify for
when they ran, it began to follow them
competitive.
But if they stopped, the light stopped too. Was it toying with them?
Oh,
simply mirroring their actions. The four of them stopped in place and watched as the light hovered, before once again...
That's really frustrating.
Trees, like it needed them to be still, before it could continue on with what it was trying to do. The light vanished and all four would stand there for a moment, with just the eerie silence of the night, and their own heavy breathing, when suddenly, from the direction the light had vanished in, they heard the sound of a twig snapping.
Yeah, I'm a lap behind now.
The sound of a branch breaking.
So I gotta go lap everyone. Great. Yeah, so we will not be finishing in a good position this time, y'all.
There, in the
but you know, that's just
a large darkened figure.
That's part of the game.
Where the light had been moments before. Mervyn stated to the police later that evening that it was the size of a person. But as it stepped out from the tree line, they noticed some odd details about this person. For one, it didn't appear to have a head, or at least no neck that would make a head protrude and appear more obvious. He said its feet looked strange, they were possibly webbed.
No such thing as a blue flag. That's right.
Large bat-like wings that were sticking out from its back and hunched over its shoulders. The teenagers didn't wait to see what the figure wanted. They began to run again, running faster than any of them had ever run before. Once far enough away, they got in contact with the police, who, surprisingly, considering this was four teenagers, claiming to have seen glowing lights in the sky, and a large part bat, part man creature, took them seriously. The police said that the fear they saw on the faces of these kids was something that told them that even if they were mistaken in what they had seen...
Oh, it's about to mess me up again.
That night.
Oh my gosh!
Whatever that something was.
It's literally undrivable.
All four teenagers were apparently interviewed separately and seemingly described the events and what they saw.
I don't know what's been going on, but my PC has just been garbage.
Word quickly got out in the sleepy area of Kent.
I might have to hit Gare up on that PC pretty soon.
Up the story, although the angle they took on it was a little different to what was being described by the witnesses. But we'll get into that in a bit. 1 week later, on November the 21st, 17-year-old Keith Trout...
What the heck just happened outside?
It was early evening, but the sun had long set. He was cutting across some fields near Sandling Estate, not too far from the initial sighting, to get back home. As he approached the football pitch that was located...
I've got approximately 5 laps.
A strange aura of light
We'll give
bouncing off
4
the
to
clouds
be
in the night
safe.
sky. Initially, he just thought someone must be training on the pitch, and they had lit it up. But as he moved closer and over the embankment that ran alongside the full pitch,
I just don't want to
he
finish in
saw
last.
something he couldn't believe. There, in the centre of the pitch, was a solid oval-shaped light, surrounded by what he described as a golden mist.
No, it's not.
Yet again, the light appeared so bright that if
I'm
there was
faster.
anything behind it creating the illumination, it was impossible to tell. Croucher stopped and watched the light slowly gliding across the pitch before disappearing into the darkened nearby.
I don't see no blue flag anymore. If he wants to come pass, he can come drive faster than me. I'm not slowing down to pass.
A man named John McGoldrick and a friend had convinced each other to do a little investigation. The pair had become fascinated by what Flaxton and his friends had reported seeing, and after some egging on of one another, decided to head out through the woods in the area where the initial sighting took place to see if they would experience anything for themselves. And while they didn't witness any glowing lights or moth-winged men that night, they did potentially find the location where Flaxton and his friends heard the breaking branches as the Mothman stepped out from the trees. McGoldrick claims to have found an area of the woods that appeared to have been crushed by something large, saying that he saw a vast expanse of bracken that had been flattened. Next to this area they apparently found 3 well-defined footprints. They were large, measuring some 2 feet long and 9 inches across.
It's another Bigfoot thing.
McGoldrick reported his findings.
No, bro, I saw it. I trust.
Requested they take them out to the site of the footprints a couple of weeks later on December 11th. McGoldrick's unnamed friend came along for the trip, the reporters doing so with a decent amount of scepticism, and not really expecting to find anything more than some tracks that the men may have faked. While they did get close to the location, they never would make it as far as seeing if the footprints were still there. And they were walking through the woods, and suddenly the entire area was illuminated by a large glowing light, several hundred feet through the trees in front of them. All 4 men, not expecting to see something like this, were stunned. Frustratingly, they were too scared to venture closer, instead choosing to stop where they were and observe the light for half an hour before it vanished.
Half an hour?
While I say it was frustrating,
Ah, yes, let's look at this light for half an hour.
I have heard, since covering these kinds of stories on this channel, I can see myself plucking up the courage to go out and investigate something like this if I'd heard similar reports, much like McGoldrick and his companions. I don't think I would be surprised that if I were to witness something firsthand, it would stop me in my tracks.
That's fair.
And maybe not make me wish to go further. These are the events laid out by John Keel in his book, Creatures from Time and Space, and effectively ends the story of the Kentish Mothman. If this event has any connection to the Point Pleasant case, we obviously have no way of knowing. Keel has spoken out about many such stories throughout history, and in fact jumping back over to West Virginia, the woman claims to have seen something similar as far back as 1960. The reason I like to think of this case as the original Mothman is the combination of the Mothman creature and the apparent UFO phenomena surrounding it. I think it makes a nice little prologue to the events that took place in Point Pleasant.
Oh, too much beans.
And has a greater connection to
don't die.
than many of the other examples of apparent sightings of winged men over the years. However, while this ends Keel's versions of what happened in Hythe, as I mentioned previously, the local press at the time took a different approach.
I'm crawling my way back up.
Years away from the start of Mothman becoming
He's still 6 minutes ahead of me.
and to explain what the
I have
locals
maybe
in Hythe
3 laps if
believed
I'm
was
lucky.
going on. Well, we'll need to put our ghost hunting hats on. There are some discrepancies with other reports made of the events outside of Keel's writings. An article about the original witnesses suggests that Mervyn Hutchinson actually described the figure as carrying a lantern, which potentially explains the light sight, and that it wore a red cloak. Although I'm unsure if this is in addition to or instead of the wings.
So I need to downshift at the apex there.
He also apparently said, according to his later article, that they couldn't see ahead, not the figure literally didn't have one. It also disputes how the events ended. Instead of running away, the teens apparently watched the figure shuffle up onto a nearby railway bridge before disappearing. Also in other articles, they apparently described the ball as a red ball of fire rather than a white oval shape. Which of these stories is closest to the actual report given to the police is unclear, but the initial description I gave earlier in the video appears to be the most widely accepted version of events. Not that we can totally discredit the other articles, but it seems to go against what is reported in most other versions. Another adds an additional report of the experience of John McGoldrick. It states that when they returned to the area at the later date, they were driving along Sandling Road, couldn't see anything. They decided to head to Sandling Quarry to see if they could find something there. They pulled up and turned off their lights, when one of the people in the car claimed to see a figure standing at the side of the road. Creepily, no one else could see it. A motorcyclist driving through this area around the same time also reported seeing a strange glowing light. Hythe is something of a hotbed for ghostly stories. Saltwood Castle is located right by Sandling Station and has its fair share of strange sightings and ghost stories, due to this and the fact that, well, a Mothman just wasn't a known thing back then. This led to the locals believing that what these teens were witnessing was in fact some sort of ghost. Furthermore, the local rector, Reverend Eric Stanton, decreed that he would get to the bottom of the apparent hauntings of this town.
And I'm freaking lagging
once and
again.
for all. The Reverend was quoted in one of the original articles.
What do you mean track limits?
Stating
I genuinely don't know where I
several
went
young
off
people
because I
believe
can't
that
freaking
can't
see anything.
saying they have seen ghosts. There are rumours that a black magic circle
I'm
meets in
okay.
a secret hideout in
I'm
the
just a
village,
little frustrated.
and that they are responsible.
I feel like that's
I have no
okay,
proof
that I can be a little
of the work of
frustrated.
Saltwood, but I am determined to get to the bottom of this business. The 1960s were of course a time in the US and the UK when the sudden influx of counterculture movements had brought about a newfound paranoia of hidden groups messing with the occult and magical practices. What is even more interesting though is that this article goes on to seemingly blame the events on a very specific ghost. The article posted in the Daily Mirror went on to explain that the ghost was that of William Tournay. Yes, seemingly he has the same middle and last name. He was a very real and very deceased rich landowner in the area who was known to be something of a reclusive individual and rather eccentric. He had purchased a tiny island situated in a lake in nearby Brockhill Park, and upon his death in 1903 requested to be buried there in what the papers of the time described as an extraordinary funeral. While his headstone is long gone, many still claim to have seen the figure
I'm coming! Ah!
on the island in the park late at night, and his former home.
I'm
shortly after
coming
his
away
death,
for
was
me!
imaginatively
I hear the
referred
words
to as
repeated!
the haunted house by the locals in the village. To add further to the strange story, Tournay was said to have had a curse placed upon him, and his father, mother, and brother had all passed away under various circumstances.
No! Oh, I botched that last bit. Okay. Come on. Come on, Camaro. Aga! Yes!
I can only assume they decided to blame the apparent haunting that was already taking place in the area to this other strange phenomena being witnessed. But the strange sightings and apparent
Oh,
concerns of the
no!
ghosts in the streets of Hythe
Oh, I pushed it.
were apparently a very real concern for the residents in the winter of 1963, with at least one woman claiming she was locking and barring her doors and windows as soon as it got dark.
Yeah,
Before
no, that
they got to
was...
the bottom of what was going
That was
on
a
with
bad
the
move.
ghost
There's no way I can make that up.
is unclear, but he was quoted in one final article.
We got one last lap, though.
As saying, "I don't think it's proper to reject these stories of a ghost, all the while they are disturbing the village. I intend to continue my own personal investigations into a reasonable explanation."
I don't mean I'm gonna try it.
I haven't seen anything, because I am not a psychic person. I think you have to be to experience these things. The area quickly became surrounded by two warring groups of investigators. A UFO investigator, by the name of Mr. Strickland, was the first on the scene, and he discovered further
Okay.
from
Let's
locals
try this again.
about seeing strange lights flying around the area, with one dog walker claiming to see a small golf ball-shaped light that crossed in front of him on Sandling Road, before disappearing in the direction of the sea. This was a few weeks before the event with the Mothman. Additionally, groups of ghost hunters started flocking to the area, especially
Oh,
focused
so
on
freaking
Saltwood
laggy.
Castle,
Oh,
which, as
so
far as I
freaking
know,
laggy.
did not encounter anything unique. There have been numerous sightings of a strange winged man across Kent in the decades that would follow, but then there has been similar sightings all across the world. Seemingly no serious attempts have ever been made to get to the bottom of what really happened on that cold November night, with one of the few investigations coming in the 1970s from a ufologist who, in a claim that might be even more crazy than a 7-foot-tall Mothman, claimed that the teens
Gosh,
had been
dang it,
suddenly
dude.
spooked by a crow
Why is your
that was
braking
illuminated
zone so
by the
freaking
flashing
early?
lights of a passing train.
That's
But
not
if the
even my
teenagers
fault.
really
I
did
really
see
don't
a
think that
dark
that's even my
man,
fault.
dark bat-like creature at night, was it the same creature that apparently terrorized Point Pleasant just a few years later? Or, if they are real at all, are there many similar creatures
I'm sorry. I'm out of it
everywhere,
now.
all over the world? That's all for this entry into the tape library. As always, please let me know what you think of this one. I'd originally worried there wasn't enough to the story to do a full episode on it, but the more I got into the research, the more I realised just quite how fun this strange story is. We have the connections to the Point Pleasant Mothman,
I'm sorry.
unidentified flying
That,
objects,
my friend,
black magic,
was some
the
bull
ghost of an
crap.
eccentric rich guy buried in a park, and a priest trying to solve the whole thing. You can't ask for much more from a case of high strangeness, in my
Right here.
opinion.
Right here.
As
Look at
always,
this.
if you've
Look at
enjoyed
this
this
bull crap.
episode, then please click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more.
So
Which would
it's
help me
lagging me.
out,
So
given
I'm
that
like,
I've
okay.
saved quite a
Okay.
few
I
of you over the
stopped there.
castle again. At this
No,
point,
not
I've
there.
only dipped my toe
I stopped
into the
there.
research,
Lagging.
but
Lagging. Lagging. I
goodbye.
paused. Back
It's going to
in.
be another wild ride.
Lagged. Lag. Lag.
Thank
More
you for
lag.
sticking with me until the end. Until next time,
Lag. Lag. Lag.
pleasant
And then
dreams.
out of freaking nowhere, got hit with a huge lag. Hold on. I don't think this is the spot. I have the wrong lap. It's this one. So I'm here. I'm chilling. I'm vibing. Oh, hold on, bud. Okay. Like, like, even the replays lagged. Look what I had to deal with there. Look at this. Boom. What the frick, dude? Oh, that pissed me off so much. Like, this whole race, I was doing so freaking good. Keeping her tight. Keeping it moving. Doing good. And out of nowhere. Look at that. So quick through there. Beautiful through there. All around the bend. Didn't go wide here. It looked like a Hot Wheels car. I'm going boom, boom, boom. Benjamin Netanyahu. That's all I'm saying. He is responsible. Israel. Yeah. But with that end of the race, like look, like all I want to say is like look at my control here. Like it's just it's not having anything. Like I had to go back. But on that highly depressing note, like, oh my gosh. Get a good freeze frame of that. There we go. On that highly depressing note and very frustrating note indeed. Again, I'd just like to thank the Tape Archive on Spotify. Again, the Tape Library Archive of the Paranormal and the Unexplained is the full name of the the page. He also is on YouTube. Highly encourage you guys to go check him out. I really do love all of his stuff. I don't know how to tag people. Or else I would. I promise. I just again, I listen to his stuff at work. He's a great person. His voice is very soothing, and it takes my mind off of work for the hours and hours and hours that I'm there. You know, I leave at 10, get back at 7. It's a lot. And I'm constantly working all day, which is why I typically am frustrated when I get home. But you know, you get what you get. It pays the bills, kind of. Um, yeah, but again, I'm a huge fan of this guy. I think he's got some really good stuff. Mr. Ballin also has some really good stuff. So again, shout out to the Tape Library. Thank you so much for doing what you do and doing it well. Um, again, I'd just like to thank our sponsor, W.GG. Again, use code goldrush underscore 129/327. Again, that is all caps goldrush, GOLDRUSH, RUSH underscore 129/327. And for 10% off site wide, and they'll take care of you, they'll do you good. I really like the stuff. I'm probably gonna end up ordering more because I don't have enough sponsorship credit for them to send me free stuff anymore. Um, so, but very very enjoyable. I really like their stuff. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to support us, you can either follow on Twitch, or if you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and subscribe, and that will be very appreciated. And you can buy me a donut from Dunkin'. That's really what your money is being used for. Um, if you're on YouTube, if you could subscribe and like hype the video, I heard that does a lot. Or just tell your friends, share it a little bit. It's very much appreciated. We're still really small, and it's the little things for us that count. I mean, leave a comment. I'll make sure to reply to it. Just knowing that I made the new wheel when it comes. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, or wonderful rest of your day if you're not in the U.S. or somewhere else in the U.S. We're friendly to all time zones here. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you next.